Good evening, everyone. We are the Budget Committee, and we are starting the 2025 budget season. Tonight, I just thought we'd get together, start talking about the timeline and the process. I have some paperwork here. I was hoping that the selectmen would join us because I would have liked to have asked them some questions, but they were unable to be here this evening. So let's just kind of go through I put together kind of a timeline for everyone. And I have on the front sheet, I have listed down the key dates that we will be meeting. They are our traditional Thursday night meetings. I have also put each department into a slot. If they can't make it, my hope is that we can reschedule them for a night that works, but also trying to communicate that if they want to come and address the budget committee, we're more than welcome. I'd like them to be more than welcome. In past budget seasons, we've said, no, we don't need to see them. Yes, we do need to see them, but you know, I still want to give each of the department heads the opportunity to address the committee and share things. And so this schedule will go out with the templates to let them know. I think some key dates here is you can see that we're not going to be meeting on Labor Day or Halloween or Thanksgiving. And really, we have to be finished by December 19th. That is to allow the select board and Alicia, the select board secretary, to really put the final warrant together for our review. In years past, we really have come down to the wire with her. While this is one of the tasks Alicia has, we still have to do daily business, and that's a lot, especially around the holidays, and we want to have people take vacation, things like that, and we want to be cognizant of that. So just want to be able to do that. And the big piece of paper is just the email from our Registrar of Voters, Dee Dee Tibbetts, that states basically you know, what her deadlines are for getting the warrant together. So I just wanted to give you those two pieces of paper, and again, those will be going out with the templates. I have a couple of PowerPoint presentations here that we printed. Cindy. So Alicia, correct me if I'm wrong, but the templates are ready to go out. We can send them out starting tomorrow if we so chose.
The thing I'm going to work on tomorrow, they're ready. The only thing I'm going to do, so I can send them tomorrow afternoon or Monday, is add in last year's numbers for them.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through the green sheet just so they can compare when they look at the templates and see exactly what they had last year. It's all on one thing.
So it's all on one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are giving them, the templates will go out. I've scheduled a workshop for the 15th of August where the department heads have been invited to attend along with the selectmen to go over the templates, to go over any questions they may have about the process. We're going to go over these PowerPoint presentations as well. So I just wanted to present them to the committee, see if you guys had any questions. Let's start with the Budget Committee workshop one. Again, this just kind of addresses the goals that we kind of set, where we wanted to clearly communicate the expectation and the need. We want to quicken the process, but also be, and quicken the process means data gathering in my mind. It's getting the templates out, allowing the managers and the department heads to fill them out and get them back in so that we can analyze them and look at them and formulate our questions and then present them as well. Part of the process is we're starting earlier so that we can hopefully give us that time to analyze. We had several we had a couple warrant items that needed to go back to the voters because of silly little typos. Things that we all overlooked as we were, because we all signed the warrant, the selectmen all signed the warrant, so, 12 sets of eyes, and we still managed to miss things. So just trying to streamline that a little bit and get it. We added the expense accounts to the worksheets. That's hopefully to help the treasurer and the department heads to understand their general ledger code so that we know where things are posting in the general ledger. And it will also help us know if we're over budget on that particular line item or under budget. And we can ask those questions of why and say, what happened. It can also help us ensure that we have effective reporting, not only for this committee, but for the select board as well, and ensuring that they're getting the most accurate data for decision making. And again, streamlining the process because we realized we needed more time for analysis. And this is just, again, the training that we'll go over with the department heads. Putting the timeline in the PowerPoint presentation, they'll get that, but I also wanted them to see that. Talking about improving reporting in the general ledger structure so that they can start to understand that. Giving them a sample worksheet. The worksheet hasn't changed significantly. As Alicia said, she's going to add some columns in here with their 2024 budget. We're asking for their 2025 budget. You'll see here on the sample worksheet that we've put the salary and the employer cost, which is their FICA and Medicare, in orange. The cost of living increase announcement will not come out until October 10th. By that point, we're halfway through our budget process. So we're going to work with the select board to go back through the budgets and actually put in that COLA increase. Now, one of the things that we're asking is that if someone wants to give additional salary as for a merit increase, that they list that separately under the operating expenses. Okay, so because we are only authorized by the people to give them that COLA increase, whatever that amount may be. The merit increases is really is really at the Board of Selectmen's discretion. We're also asking if they have any capital projects that they wish to submit and the dollar amount associated with that. Okay. So that's really the worksheet that we're collecting the data on, and then we can start to formulate the warrant, look at it, and ask our questions at that point based on their scheduled night. Also, a copy of the expense accounts so that they can start to understand. And then you can see on the subsequent pages the request for changes. As I mentioned, it's the the COLA increase, any changes from last year, and things like that, streamlining the process and understanding. So, and then letting them know that they are part of this process. It's not, it's not just the budget committee up here. The one thing that I am going to request is, as you can see on the timeline, that the budgets will start going out. They are due back right after Labor Day. Okay, budgets are being returned, and on September 5th, we are actually meeting and going over those budgets. Because of the timetable, I really do think that we should make the decision that should a budget not come back to us in time, that they get the 2024 budget items except for the salaries, in which case we will only increase that with the COLA increase and the necessary FICA taxes. But everything else will remain the same as their 2024 budget. It's just, we don't,
Are we gonna set a deadline for that this year?
But that's what we've done. We've said budgets are being returned by 9/3. So their budgets need to be returned by September 3rd.
So if they're not, then we're gonna go ahead and implement the.
Yeah, because you can see here, it's a very tight, unfortunately, we just don't have time, especially with Christmas and New Year's being on a Wednesday. I don't know that anybody's gonna wanna be here the day after Christmas or the day after New Year. So I just want to submit that and put that out there, that we should be, looking at that as much as possible.
Okay. I know last year we were getting them up into December.
And it was making it very hard, yes, so that's why we just don't have time to, and that's why I put the schedule together, so that people can start to understand that, you know, as we go through these budgets, we spend a lot of time outside of this meeting preparing for our meetings and getting those things together. So, go ahead, Alicia.
Will the board itself have more time than September 3rd?
So there are some selectmen articles that they cannot do until the end of the year. One of them comes to mind is workers' comp, right? They need the end of the year payroll before they can make that calculation. But for the most part, a lot of theirs can be done.
I just feel like they're meeting every other week. So
Well-
they'll meet the 12th and the 26th.
Yeah, but I will tell you, 60% of my problem's the board. Okay.
No, I just, you know, I'm just thinking
So-
of the,
Yep, I know, but we need them, that's why I was hoping they would be here tonight, so that if they had a problem with the process, they could tell us that, but they really need to,
Because like building committee and capital projects, they can have that done.
yeah.
They shouldn't have to wait till
Well,
the
and
end.
the
time for that.
building committee's gonna come from, you know,
Yeah.
from the other committees. I have put the selectmen articles towards the end of the, you know,
Yeah, they're-
the meeting dates,
November,
because,
December.
but we really need to, you know, let me ask you this, is there any reason why they can't have the assessing budget done? Is there any reason they can't have their selectmen's office budget done?
no, I think that there are certain ones that we can,
Yep,
for sure.
for sure.
And then I think that there are some that may need a little bit more time.
Right. So I'm gonna pick on the health insurance. You guys already know what your premiums increases are gonna be. They go into effect, they notify you September 1st, you know, that these are gonna take effect. So to not submit that budget until the mid-December makes me wonder, why are you waiting when you already had the information, you know, back in,
Yeah, and I think they need to, we talked about last year, you know, the $6,000, you know, thing on insurance that people get for not taking the insurance and what the intent was, and now, you know, like where that is. I just feel like, I don't know if there's any,
they've had a year to discuss that. And I am not trying to.
no, and I
to
know you're
diminish
not, I'm
but they-
just, you know.
There's just a lot going on. And unfortunately, if they want to, we have a deadline to get to the people the warrant. That's not a deadline that this committee sets. That's a deadline that, you know, not even the elections clerk set, right? They're told when to do this by the charter or by the rules. The state of Maine. So we have to say, this is our absolute deadline, and we have to work backwards from there, and then try to accommodate
Yeah.
everyone we can, and make a good faith effort. It is
I guess that's
difficult.
all I can ask for.
Yeah, I mean, and I need them to make a good faith effort as well.
Yeah, no, nope, I agree, but like I said, just when I'm looking at the calendar, getting a little
Yeah,
sweaty.
yeah. So the PowerPoint presentation, that's the power of communication, is basically the same thing. It's just a truncated version of the training document, talks about the template, the COLA percentage, the capital project. This is something that will go out to them. with their packet as far, and when Alicia sends out their worksheet. So they'll get their worksheet, they'll get this PowerPoint presentation about the power of communication, they're gonna get their scheduled department timeline. So we're just trying to communicate everything to everybody so that they have time to do that. And I understand that, you know, it is the holiday and it's Labor Day and people have decided to take time off, but if you guys go through this schedule, you tell me if you think we have any wiggle room.
Not a lot.
No, we're starting months earlier, so I'm like, how is this possible?
Well, for one thing, we in the past
We used to
never,
put a couple together.
well, and we've done that, like the planning board, the Board of Appeals are gonna be together, the library, the animal control officer, and recreation are together. So we've tried to double and triple up at the same time, where we could. I tried to put smaller budgets necessarily with larger budgets, but the fire department really needs their own night. The transfer station,
Oh, yeah, there's seven, yeah.
yeah, that need their own night. So, you know, tried to be cognizant of putting all of that together, but also mindful that we're not here until 10 o'clock at night, you know? So, just trying to balance everybody's time. And previously, we had said we didn't want to see certain department heads, but I want to be able to say, you know, the animal control officer, you're scheduled for September 5th. If you want to come and speak to your budget, please come. We'll recognize you. You're on the agenda. If you don't want to come, we'll take what information you've given us. You know, and if you haven't
Yeah.
given us any information, we're going to look at what you did last year and where you were.
Do you, when I send these out and if they get back to me about wanting to reschedule a date or they could come a different date, do you want me to push it to you or do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
you could push it to me, and then, because what I don't want is for everybody to come on the same night as the fire department, or,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
no.
I want to try to manage expectations and say, well, we really have a big budget that night to
Yeah.
look at. Is there another night that's available to you?
No, that's perfect.
But I'm hoping that if we communicate this early enough, that will give people a chance to adjust their schedules accordingly. You know, we pick Thursday nights because we're not in competition with the planning board, we're not in competition with a Monday holiday, but unfortunately, we are in competition with some of the holidays this year. And, you know, as it is, we're still navigating the charter. We took every Thursday night and bumped the charter commission. So, you know, I apologize for that, but I had to, they're coming to the end. So, you know, just trying to keep everything together. But these are all things that, you know, we're gonna have to talk about. We're gonna have to talk about, you know, the fire department, the debt services, the loan, all of those things. And the one thing that's not here, and I'm waiting to see if it passes, is the charter, in which case we'd have to talk about what we do for a town manager
I know.
in that position. So there are some things here that we can't really make a decision on until we have that November election and get those results. So again, that's another reason that we just need to give ourselves that little 2-week window to make sure we've got everything, we haven't missed anything, and that we've taken into account what the voters have relied upon and voted and improved.
Yeah.
So, any questions or concerns? I feel like I talk very fast.
So am I just sending the templates to them, or am I sending the schedule and the chart of accounts too, or?
If you could send them the template,
Yep,
the schedule,
yep,
and then the PowerPoint for the power of communication that we have here, because it talks about the fact that their 2025 their wages, we will be doing that based on the COLA date.
Okay.
It talks about what we're looking for as a request, so it's kind of a little bit of a guideline for them.
Okay.
And then they can come on the 15th, we'll have that meeting
Yeah.
where they'll hopefully have their templates, they've looked at them, they've opened them, they've read the documentation, they're coming with questions and we can help them.
Tomorrow at some point, or definitely this weekend, so.
Yeah.
Do you want me to add you like as the contact for questions or anything they have
Yeah.
right offhand?
Yeah, that's fine, I'll take that off your plate, Alicia.
No, I mean, I don't mind being, like, if there's questions or anything to come back that have to do with those, but if, just anything that they are not happy about with the schedule or timeline. I
Yeah,
guess.
the schedule, the timeline.
Yeah.
Yep. The last piece of information I have for the committee is just our chart of accounts that, as they exist today inside the trio. I think that's beneficial, so that you guys can see, what types of accounts we have, so that if someone does request a new account, we may already have it, and they're just using a different name for it, okay? Also, so I just wanted you guys to have that, I think, and then it's just logging in. We're gonna be using the website like we did last year. Everything's gonna be put out on the website. These forms will be put out on the website. We've put the school budget out on the website that was voted in, so you guys have that amount. I believe there was a newspaper article that came out this summer that said the county commissioners are thinking about like a 4% increase. So, we can take the amount out of the audited financial statements that we paid last year and increase that by 4%, so that you have some idea of roughly what the county is going to pay. Plus, we'll get that bill in, it's usually due in November. So we'll see that come into the statements. I'll be asking the treasurer for detailed journal expenditures, and those can get quite lengthy, so we'll post them out on the budget website so that we're not emailing and you guys aren't printing. I wasn't sure if we could all get to the budget website, so I had Alicia print these up for me tonight. So, go ahead.
If you go to the budget website and you go to Trio reports, you'll see what's there now.
Yeah, yeah, you'll see them there.
So do we want to vote on that if we don't get a budget, they're with last year?
Yeah, we can.
Do
Do
we-
you guys
do
want
you
to,
want
do you
that?
want to vote on that?
I think we should.
I do think that if we get one last minute, my fear is if we do get one last minute and it has an item, an unexpected item or capital, that we may need to take that into consideration. So, we can say that their expenditures may stay the same, but I do want to, narrow that down to exclude maybe their cost of living and merit increases as well as any potential capital. If we don't get a budget and we keep their supplies the same, or we keep their, other expenses the same, aggregate tarring, stays at 300,000, things like that. But, unfortunately I'm gonna pick on the rec department. If the rec department wants to, needs to replace the sprinklers down there because some area broke, and we don't know about that just yet until we get the budget, and he submits it late, is that something we're gonna ignore?
Wouldn't it make more sense, though, to have them submit their budget, and then if they need to modify or amend it?
Well, that's what we're saying. Cindy's saying that if they don't submit one by Labor Day, and we say, your budget's gonna stay the same, let's say we get one the 1st of October, and it has something in it that we didn't take into consideration, like an expense, such as a maintenance or a capital item, because we were unaware of their plans, I don't wanna say, I do think we'll have time to probably revisit some of that in here.
No,
but-
I don't want them to submit whole new budgets
Right.
and then have to comb through.
Revision after revision after revision.
you know, submit your initial, if something comes up, submit a revision, you know, highlighting what the revision
You
is.
still have-
Highlighting what the
You
revision-
still have to have some control on how many revisions take place.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then you're gonna be looking through these budgets 20 million times. There has to be a cutoff. That makes sense.
Right. So I think, you know, we'll put everything together the 5th, we'll see what we get. If we, you know, we were chasing a lot of people last year, and it made for a very hectic end of the year. And we need to stop being reactive and be more proactive. And unfortunately, sometimes that hurts, that change.
Is the building advisory committee, when the board does the public buildings one, are there other recommendations that you guys are making towards things for the budget this year, or?
Mhm. Yeah, we'll have other budgets.
Okay.
I just
Well,
haven't
no,
looked
I'm
at the,
thinking like the fire station, but like things, like you know what I mean?
we're getting,
Okay.
yeah,
Perfect. That's, okay.
yeah, we're getting quotes now, we're preparing for the building advisory. We've got to come back together once all of that information comes in and
Okay.
make a decision as to what the committee feels is the priority and what
Okay.
we're gonna submit
All right.
accordingly.
Well, I just feel like for that template of those expenses, whatever the.
We only had 5.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, will you have that to the board before for them?
Yes,
Perfect.
just waiting for my quote for the electrician.
I'll remind him.
Wait, so,
He didn't know it had a basement.
huh?
He didn't know there was a basement.
He didn't know there was a basement?
No, I know.
Those stairs led down to where?
I know. I don't know, was he said, I didn't even know there was a basement there.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was just thinking of, I don't know, cause the Boy Scout is so obvious it has a basement, so I don't know.
So, yeah, so we've reached out to everybody for quotes, we're just waiting for building committee,
I'll resend him a message.
just waiting for everything to come in,
Okay.
so. So, any questions or concerns? I mean, I feel like it was a short meeting, but we covered a lot. And, you know, feel free to, you know, go home, take a look at it. If you think something needs to be included in the PowerPoint presentation, let me know. Happy to review, include, exclude. If you think something's wrong with the template. What? What's your question?
Member from the audience, go to the mic.
Go to the mic.
Is everybody signed on to the budget website?
Yes.
Okay. Can you navigate it?
Yes.
You know, you found a little menu and
Right.
you're looking at the different pages and you can open something and you can do this from your home,
Right.
okay?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You don't have to come here to do this. We're going to work at Teams,
Yes, we're gonna work it.
okay, so that when Stephanie is keying, you can see what she's keying. If she's updating something that she's updating spreadsheets. And there have been people in the past that think she's doing secret stuff, so, yeah, on the committee. So we're making sure that you can see her with Teams. How many of you are familiar with Teams? It's like Zoom.
I use it
I
every
use it
day.
at work.
Yeah.
Is it at work?
I avoid it every day.
You avoid it every day. Janet, do you use
I
it?
use it every day.
Every day?
I
Okay, so
use
we
it every
got
day.
3 out of the 5, and I'll bet
Dave probably
Dave
uses
Coleman
it too.
uses it. So that you're smarter than I am because I'm a Zoom person, but Stephanie knows Teams well too. So Lori, welcome aboard. You're gonna love it.
And really, a lot of my spreadsheets, you guys have seen them, is a double check. You know, so that when we get that warrant from Alicia, we say, okay, yep, the numbers match, or, oh, this was a typo, we typed in a 5 instead of a 3, or something along those lines, so that way, so again, but, you know, we're just trying to be transparent and get everybody's eyes, so that, you know, as we talk about these things and get them there.
And Alicia, are you planning on Coming on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
And does your computer sign on to, your laptop sign on to the,
Yes, I will.
onto the network?
Yep.
So does it have Teams? It should have Teams
It
on
should
it.
have Teams.
Okay, so you can actually see what Stephanie might be doing too?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm not sure if we'll have to use that at all.
The only reason we would use the PowerPoint is to show people at home,
Right, and that's not what this is all
and
about.
that's not what this is about.
All right, so we'll make sure
Yeah,
Yours
mine
works,
will, yeah. I will
and we should be good.
get it
And
over.
if selectmen want to bring a laptop of their own, or use their phone, they can sign on to the budget
The
website
Teams
too.
does have an app so that they can use on their phone.
We can test that,
We can test that
Yeah.
and put them on their phones, on their cell phones, their town cell phones.
because you send out invitations,
Yes.
so they
The
don't need
link?
to sign on to the network. They
Nope,
just
it's a
need to
link.
get on to the internet.
And
Okay.
there's also, I don't know what version of Teams you have, but there's also, just like Zoom, there's a call-in number. So
Yes.
if they're traveling and driving,
Yeah.
they can just pull over, dial in, and at least listen to what's going on,
If they're interested,
if
yeah.
they're interested in
Yep.
doing that.
Yep.
So,
Okay, so we're going to try to employ all that technology this year and see where we go. You're still the beta test, okay.
and we just need to we need to get to Dave, so I'll try to track him down. So,
It would be worthwhile just to do this whole thing beforehand. From scratch.
yeah, and he could be traveling because of his job with all of the stuff down south, so. Okay, sound like a plan?
Yep,
Any
sounds like a plan.
questions, concerns? Outlined it clearly, hopefully.
Yeah, I think next week is just pounding into department heads, the deadline.
Right.
The ones that come, and I'll resend an email inviting them all again. They've all been invited, so.
Yep. Yep, so, and I've already been contacted by a couple that said, what do we do with the COLA? So, and I've told them, so, that's why I kind of wanted the instructions to go out to say how we're gonna handle that. So, I don't think that we can wait till mid-October getting budgets in because of the COLA increase.
No.
I think we can handle plugging in whatever that number may be. And
At
understand
least
that.
it'll give us a general idea for everybody, so we know what we're looking at.
Right, right. Yep. Okay. I don't have anything additional. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about or address?
No.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Did we want to vote on the September deadline?
I don't know that we need to vote on the September deadline. I think we just hold them accountable to it.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
I will second that
Second.
motion. I'll third it.
All in favor?
Bye.
Good night.